What's this? What we're witnessing here, I shall retort after this, is the controlled demolition of the entire banking system as we know it to introduce universal basic income and central bank digital currency. We're watching the collapse in real time. Controlled collapse. There's nothing good about it. There's nothing accidental about it.
I mean, what's your profit margin, Mr. Patrick?
It's circa 50%.
Mr. Sheedy?
Slightly higher.
It's higher than 50% profit margin?
Slightly higher than MasterCard, yes.
Yeah, that's incredible. 50% profit margin. I mean, that's absolutely unbelievable. What's the answer to the Walmart question, by the way, that Senator Welch posed to you? What's Walmart's interchange fee that you negotiate with them?
Well, I don't have it with me today.
You don't have any idea whatsoever? Is it higher or lower than 2.5%?
Walmart negotiates their rates based on the business that they do with us.
Meaning they're big, they're really big, they're gigantic, so they get a better deal than Mr. Callahan or most small businesses in Missouri. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, Senator, we have volume discounts that.
Before they go on, and I'll elaborate more after this, Walmart was started by, and I've got a video that goes way back, look at the video I done on the Walton family. It was started by a family called the Walton family. It started off as a corner store, turned into a franchise, ended up as a worldwide multinational monopsony. A monopsony is another step up from a monopoly. It's where they buy shares in their own companies and buy out other companies of any type of competition and install fake competition companies, which is what we've got right here in Australia because Walmart owns Woolworths and Coles through private investment corporations such as Vanguard, BlackRock, etc., so on and so forth, and etc. So let's go on.
We offer to some merchants. I suspect Walmart is one of them. And, I don't believe that it's commercially unreasonable to get an arrangement where in exchange for more volume, a merchant can qualify for lower rates.
Well, I'm sure it's not commercially unreasonable for Walmart, or certainly it's in their financial interest and in yours, but I doubt it's in Mr. Callahan's financial interest. And my question to you, Mr. Callahan, is when you've got Walmart and other major competitors getting charged much less than you are, why in the world would you stick with these guys? I mean, why is it that small businesses continue to use Visa and MasterCard when you're getting charged so much more?
It's in my opinion, it's a matter of convenience for the customer, and customers matter to our business.
Maybe is it because that Visa and MasterCard are effectively monopolies? They control 80% of the market.
Certainly part of it.
80% of the market. I'm just having a hard time understanding, Mr. Sheedy and Mr. Patrick. You have a business model. You're making over 50% profit margin. You are able to give the shaft to small businesses. Estimated cost to Missouri businesses from these fees is $1.5 billion. That's with a B, $1 billion a year. Why aren't all of these businesses running away from this model? Because they don't have a choice, because you control so much of the market. This is classic monopolistic behavior, and yet your testimony here today is you don't want any competition. You have 80% of the market, but you don't want any more competition. I'm having a hard time finding that position defensible, let alone sympathetic. I mean, it's unbelievable the amount of money that you're making. It's unbelievable what you're charging small businesses and consumers, and yet your testimony is, please, we can't possibly have any competition. I mean, let's talk about what you're doing to consumers who hold your cards. Last year, as I understand it, there were 726 million Visa and MasterCard credit cards issued in the United States. That's about 2 for every one person in the United States of America. Do either of you know how much debt is owed on your networks, Mr. Patrick?
We're not the bank, so we don't have visibility into that information. We also don't generate revenue from interchange.
You have no idea. Mr. Sheedy?
Pause. That Visa, MasterCard and so forth. Like, in the first take of this, I was explaining that before I got into it, but I went a bit, woo, I tend to, as we know. Because I see the big thing. As you can tell from my videos, I'm trying to show you how it's all connected. It's fucking difficult to do. They're not banks, they are lending companies. No different to your payday lenders who work for these people with huge interest rates, not to lend you money, not to help you out. Okay? It's for wealth transfer. That's all it is. Not money transfer, wealth. You need to grasp the difference between those two. Let's keep going. I'm getting some, making a banana split.
Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, let me help you out. Let's have a look. It's $1.17 trillion. $1.17 trillion is what consumers now owe on your credit card networks. Do either of you know what the average interest rate is on your networks? Mr. Kirkpatrick?
Oh, Senator, we're not the bank. We don't set the interchange.
I know.
We don't set the
benefit
rates.
from it, and you know. Do you know what it is? This is your business model.
We don't collect
you know,
revenue
Mr.
from interest rates.
Do you know?
I don't, Senator.
I mean, do either of you read the newspaper? Forbes magazine just estimated last week that the average credit card APR in your networks is 28.75%. Average. 29%, let's call it. 29%. It's nearly doubled in the last 4 years. That is astounding. Absolutely astounding. And you just testified a second ago that you've got more than 50% profit margin, and yet your testimony here today is you can't possibly survive if there's any competition. How can that be true? How can that be true? You've got debt like we've never seen before in American history. Your profit margins are as higher than they've ever been. You have 80% of the relevant market in the credit card interchange fees that we're talking about, and yet you couldn't survive if there's any competition? What am I missing? That's not a rhetorical question. How is it that you can't do any better?
Senator, we like competition very much. As my colleague from MasterCard mentioned, we don't loan money to consumers. That's the job of the banks. I will say, as it relates to small business, we care very much. And the pandemic was difficult on small business more than anyone. In 2022, we lowered rates for 90% of small businesses in the United States. I also think that many of the security and the digital features that have been put in the network help small businesses.
Wait a minute, but wait a minute. My time's almost expired. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. But hold on just a second. You've increased the swipe fees consistently in the last few years. You've raised them. Even as your network has expanded, even as your profit margins have gone up, you've raised the swipe fees. And in terms of competition, you are paying competitors not to enter the market. The DOJ lawsuit says that you threaten retailers with staggering financial penalties. That's a quote, staggering financial penalties if they use a competitor, and you're paying Apple and Square and others not to compete in your market. You've got 80% market share, and you are paying off would-be competitors not to come into the market while you charge people like Mr. Callahan, who knows how much more than big entities like Walmart. I mean, this is just classic collusive monopoly behavior. And your testimony is you can't accept any more competition. I agree with one thing that my colleagues down the dais have said, which is that this is not a sustainable situation. It is not sustainable. This has to change. 1.17 trillion in debt, this has to change. And I'll just end with this, Mr. Chairman. I thought one of the best proposals that the President-elect Trump, made during his last campaign, his most recent campaign, was to cap the interest rates of credit cards. So we could do that. We could do this and that. I think it's a great idea. I don't know why 30% interest rate should be charged on debt like this. I don't understand it. And I don't understand why you won't accept the smallest modicum of competition when it comes to these retailer fees. And I'm just here to tell you, this will not stand. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'll start out with you, Mr. Cantor. Last time we discussed this topic in the committee, you agreed we needed more antitrust enforcement in the area. It is actually fitting that Senator Grassley and I are both here because he and I worked very hard for years and years to pass our bill to change the merger fees to charge less on small mergers, more on big ones. We finally passed that through the Senate. I think we're finally seeing the fruition of some of this to our agencies. However, we want to make sure that we keep the pressure on as a new administration starts, that this has been a bipartisan effort beyond the topic of this hearing. Since then, we've seen the Justice Department suing Visa for the monopolization of debit card network services. The FTC entered a consent decree with MasterCard, not to mention a pending settlement in a private antitrust lawsuit.
Right, got that there. Why? I think that's plenty enough. Tells you enough. Let's not convolute it with the filibuster that comes next. Honey and ice cream and banana. I'm going to have ice cream. Have some potassium and one of the greatest antioxidants and gut antibiotics there is. Honey. Pure honey. None of this corn syrup. Honey flavoured corn syrup. Anyway. What was you just witnessing? What did you just watch then, do you know? Do you know? Do you have the critical thinking abilities and the historical knowledge and... Tigger, what are you doing? Got yourself stuck, didn't you? Get out of there. Hang on. What are you doing in there, you whacker? There's not done anything weird in there. Bloody cats do strange things, get themselves stuck in weird places. Anyway. He's that one, he's too fat for that. He's a Fat Albert cat. What did you just see there? Who were they talking about? Yeah, hide the numbers. Well, make sure I'm all on screen and stuff properly. I know. Visa. Not Sega, Visa. Who? National Australia Bank, NAB Bank. It's proudly sponsored by Visa. Now the NAB Bank isn't really a bank per se. It's just another lending facility that borrows money and pays it back in interest to lending companies who borrow money from the central banking system, who are governed by the International Monetary Fund, who is governed by the one and only Unidroid. You got to follow the trail. You got to reverse engineer this shit. Now we have other companies like whatever Plus and eftpos. Right? Proudly sponsored by eftpos and Bludger. I just had to throw that in. Now, it all seems like they're doing a good thing for you, doesn't it? No. It's a controlled demolition, purposeful and bilaterally agreed upon controlled demolition of the banking system. Not the banking cartel, the banking system. Money is of no consequence. I don't care about the money. Because it doesn't exist anyway. It's just numbers on a screen. There's not even a third of the amount of cash in the world as what there is digitally printed money. So we already have the central bank digital currency. They just haven't linked it up to our biometrics yet. You starting to form the picture yet? I hope so, because it's a hell of a bloody thing to have in my head and not get it out to you, and to watch it all play out. And it's actually heartbreaking to watch everyone walk into this trap thinking that they're fighting against something and they're actually running to it with open arms. So what is it all? It's a control of wealth. Not money, wealth. Two very different things. Very different things. It depends on what you value. Do you value your freedoms, liberties, your ability to live a life unmolested, uninterrupted, not told what to do in your own home or what you're doing, or stay away from the new iPhones and Fitbits and all that bullshit. They're bad for you. Why are they bad for you? Do you know that the new iPhone can tell if you're stoned or not? Yeah. Go and watch the Dre dossier. She done all the homework. There's no point me doing that for you. She's done it all. Just go and watch her. I'm not going to plagiarise her shit. Finding her just a couple of weeks ago was like, wow. There's not many around. Don't worry about Whitney Webb. Does she have a good mind? Oh yeah. Who do you think helped plan all this shit? See, quite often your hero turns out to be one of the masterminds of the plot that's against you. Done that, Ricardo. Done it, Derek Johnson. Done it, Carl Leibold. Mind you, to control demolition of the banking system so they can create a new banking system, or the banking cartel. A system is something you can't hold, punch or fight. That's why you can't fight it, and that's why it's all falling down on top of you. You're crushing yourselves under your own weight of your own fucking stupidity. Sorry to say. And I am sorry to say. It's like I said, it's heartbreaking to watch. Because not only are you dragging me into this, you're dragging your kids into it, you're dragging my kids into it. Not much of a legacy to leave for future generations, is it? What are they going to replace the banking system with? Well, you already know. Universal basic income with a central bank controlled digital currency. I'm going to say it. China. It's the China flu. It's the Wuhan flu. China. It's all China. China was the blueprint for the world. Every country has a blueprint state, and every state has a blueprint town. Hello, Bernie. Wake up, wake up. Hello, Bernie. Hello, Bernie. Start getting these and checking into them. Wake up, people. Most of the people on the council are too stupid to even know what they're doing, let alone be in on it. I mean, really, how can exactly the same agenda be playing out in every country in the world with supposedly different governments, different politics, different ideologies, different cultural and religious historical backgrounds and beliefs, but yet the same thing's playing out everywhere? Geez, what's the one thing we've all got in common? The United Nations, World Economic Forum, Bilderberg Group, Environmental Protection Agency. How do they play into this, you ask? They're in control of all the land. Which is why certain areas you're not getting looked after by your now privatised public housing sector, which has been turned into a social housing, social affordable housing. What happened to the Commonwealth Housing Trust of Australia, which became public housing, which turned into state housing, and then turned into social low-income housing, all run from a national housing co-op under administration of an admin company by the name of Housing Choices, who are purposely running it into the ground. It's all connected for a wealth transfer. Not money, wealth. Money's not worth shit. Never has been, never will be. It's just an agreed upon exchange of goods or value. That's all it is. Now, how do they stop people creating their own communities and walking away from it, you ask? How many people do you know that know how to do shit now? How many people do you know that can survive without the system? That's why you're all dumb as dog shit now. Can't build nothing, don't know nothing, can't read nothing. Don't even comprehend the damn thing that you read after you read it. You know, don't know what it meant. You read it 5 times and then ask somebody else what it means. You do not comprehend the written word. You just follow orders and do as you're told, like a bunch of dodo birds. COVID-19. Wear the mask, put on 2 masks. Dr. Fauci. Yeah, stole that one off Jim Brewer. Right, so how is this a controlled demolition of the banking sector? Well, how do you think the banking sector gets their money? Like I said, but that was an alright drop of banana split. I'm going to put my wallet. Oh, that's it. Here it is. The National Australia Bank, proudly sponsored by Visa. And the carrier, like the internet funds carrier, eftpos, and whoever the plus is, Card Plus. I think Card Plus is the company that makes the card. eftpos is the internet banking funds transfer carrier. I'm not quite as silly as I make out. I just put it on. Why do I put it on? Because I try to make people do the work. I don't want robots doing the work for me. People have value. People add value. Value the people. Doesn't matter how much it inconveniences the front end of a supermarket, keep using the people. Stop using the self-serve checkouts. Why? Well, like I said, who owns Woolworths? The Walton family. Who are the Walton family? Walmart. You just heard them talking about it then. Who they are, what they are. A multinational monopoly. Well, I'm going to tell you it's one step further than that. It's a monopsony. This isn't about bringing down the cartels and the people that are handling this money. This is about bringing down the system to install the new system, which I just told you what it is. Central bank digital currency. Universal basic income. Elon Musk keeps banging on about it. People won't have to work anymore. It's going to be a utopia, they reckon. I'm here to tell you that no, it's not. Not even close. Because people with nothing to do either do nothing or they do bad things because there's nothing good to do. Nothing worthwhile, nothing of value. So they start devaluing communities, devaluing neighbourhoods, devaluing us as anything of value in the world at all. None of this is here for you or me. It's here for them. AI isn't here to help us. It's here to destroy us. They're creating AI. It's a whole new policing system. So hey coppers, you're fucked. Sorry to tell you, you're fucked. Your days are numbered. Not from my end, from your end. The sooner you figure that out, the better. Stop being our enemies. You would be far more useful as a public service if you was on the side of the public, not the state. We would welcome you with open arms if you worked it, if you just only would see this, work it out. Wouldn't you much rather that, having the love and respect of the people that you're supposed to be serving, than animosity and anger and people meeting you at the door with a bow and arrow, or where in Penguin, with a bow and arrow, and then beating the shit out of him, and one of his ending up in prison? Did that happen, people? Who's aware of that? Who knew that? The cop went to jail because a bunch of cops beat the shit out of a bloke in Penguin because he shot a bow and arrow at him. Okay, he shot a bow and arrow at him. How about you ask the question, why? Why does anyone shoot a bow and arrow at someone? They don't do it because they like them. They don't do it because you're getting along well. They don't do it because, you know, everything's all hunky-dory and we can all be friends. There's obviously an issue there to start with, wasn't there? It wasn't an argument. It wasn't a fight. He shot a bow and arrow at him. He shot an arrow at him with a bow. Dickhead. Because they're already contemplating putting archery gear, bows and arrows, into the Firearms Safety Act. We're going to be left with nothing. They don't want to take all these things away from us for our own good. It's got nothing to do with the preservation of life. If it did, then they wouldn't take drunk people and people that are high on crack and whatever else back to their cars to drive home after failing a fucking lick test. And they do. How do I know? They've done it for me. More than twice. They do it for nearly everyone. They take them back to their car. We go this way, you go that way. It's not about your safety or preservation of life or law. It's about revenue. It's about taking things from people. Now they're taking people's cars. They don't take your car because you tried to evade them. They take your car because you're willing to stand up, or you're willing to avoid their bullshit, or you're just not going to, you don't acquiesce to their fucking shit. They don't know this. They're not educated to know this. They, the police, are a strong arm for the government who aren't here for any of our help. Holy crap, I just spotted something. Look at her necklace. Look at that necklace. Who else is wearing a necklace like that at the moment? Exactly the same necklace. Australian Governor General. Anyway, leave that alone. Woo, cuckoo, cuckoo. I don't know. That said, it's still the controlled demolition of everything thought to be used against us. The whole white hat, black hat, tiny hat, fuckwit hat scenario is not there for any good for us either. It's a controlled demolition of everything Western, of everything. Just quickly on that necklace, if you go back to, where are we? 29 minutes, yeah, alright, I'll do it. Where are we? I'll just get inbox. The 20 or 20, where is it? It's not there. Oh, I'll find it. I'll go at it from another way. I'll go to Grumble. Grumble. You know, Rumble Australian party. Here we go. Verifying that you are human. Right. Now this one here. I'll show you where I'm at. So, you know, it's the Australia One Party.
Her in her own words, and then I'll give you my take on what it. You know, why do I say that? Because that's in excess.
Look at the necklace. That's uncanny, isn't it? Go and check out Australia One Party. Ricardo talks about a lot of things that are on point. But believe me, he's not on our side. I'm telling you now, he's not on our side. He's there to help the controlled demolition move things in a certain direction. He's like the, what do we have here in Australia as far as our talking heads go, our so-called freedom fighters? Border collies and blue heelers rounding up the sheep. Now, what else do we have with good sheep, good goats, good cows, good cattle? We always have one in the herd that we look after real well. Why? Because they will lead the rest of the herd to where you want them to go. They never go to the slaughterhouse, but the rest of the herd follow them to the truck that takes them to the slaughterhouse. Come on, come on, come on! And along comes old Daisy with the whole herd following her. They follow her because she's the first one there. She's like the alpha cow, the alpha steer, the alpha bull, the alpha goat, the alpha sheep. You know, the one that's there and gets looked after so well that it always comes to the good shepherd's voice. That's what our Ricardo Bosies and Carl Eyeballs and Dave Grahams and so forth are. Scott Challen is another one. Excuse me. Now, like I say, it's a controlled demolition of the banking system, not the banking cartel. They're bringing the system down in a controlled demolition. The system, the thing that has no form, cannot be held, you can't touch, taste or smell it. It's like fire. And they're rousing everybody up to fight fire with fire that just sees the whole world burn. A controlled burn back in both directions. And in the middle you meet. There's some wisdom in what Bruce Lee says when he says, be like water, my friend. What puts out fire? Water. In other words, extinguish the fire. How? By not fighting it. Walk away from it. It has no power over you if you do not acquiesce to it or don't engage with it. Just, sorry, you're not relevant. You've got no relevance anymore. You're just a school bully and everybody's seen you. Everybody actually seen you fight someone with some form. You're only whacking it over people you can whack it over. The system is just a system. They just keep changing systems to create a new world with the old order. It's the old order creating the new world. Why? Because they keep control of the world over and over and over again and hand that on to their next generation. They're the only ones leaving any legacy. We're leaving a fucking shit show. I'll leave it at that for this one. I've gone on enough couple of tangents, but I haven't gone away from the topic, so love yous all. I do, I love yous all. I forgive everybody in advance. Your actions, no. But if I don't forgive the people, how do I move on? I'm not getting around with bitterness in my heart. I'm not getting around with hate and anger. There's enough of that going on. And now we have tribalistic attitudes. We have tribalism in our country, in Australia. Who'd have thunk? Whoever would have thought that Australia would have become tribalistic against ourselves? In Australia, mate. Can't I? There you go. There you go, mate. Come on, go and have a beer. Stop being stupid. Fucking gronk. Hey, what happened to Australia? We're fighting with each other over foreigners, over non-Australians, people who seek to destroy. Oh, another Metallica song, Seek and Destroy. They seek to destroy us. Why? Because they're brainwashed to hate us. That is not Muslim, okay? Do they resemble anything like Malcolm X, Dr. Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, who refused to go to Vietnam? Because the Viet Cong ain't my opposer. Now you my opposer. I come to the United States and I make you all this money, and now you my opposer because I won't go and fight with the Viet Cong. I ain't got no beef with the Viet Cong. They got no beef with me. Does that sound anything? He was a Muslim Brotherhood leader who's one of his best friends was Malcolm X. Not to be confused with the Black Panthers. Black Panthers? Who can you relate those people to? Yeah, I'm going to go on a little bit longer. Who are the Black Panthers related to? Where do you think that we've seen that recently? Black Lives Matter? You don't think that maybe they were also a George Soros-funded organisation? Considering George Soros has been in this game since forever, he's always been a turncoat. George Soros was a Jew that worked for Hitler. Hitler didn't hate all the Jews. He was just turned against the wrong Jews. He was funded by Jews, the Zionist Jews. Hitler was a Freemason. And the Zionist Christian wasn't an Orthodox Christian, a Zionist Christian, following a plan, a certain religion, a cult, you may as well say. Practicing Christianity, not Christ. Yeah, we've been here before, people. It's been the plan all along. Generation after generation, war after war. There's only been one war. It's still raging. It's been going on ever since the tribes of Abraham. Was it six? Crikey. I'm gonna Google that. Yeah, that's exactly the same necklace. Wow. I'm going to Google how long ago that started. How long ago were the tribes of Abraham there's a family tree and all there. Look, wow, cool. Approximately 4,000 years ago. This is a 4,000-year-old inheritance argument. But it's not. It's a 4,000-year-old inheritance argument that they're G'ing up. They're G'ing up and bastardising verified biblical history to pit religions against one another. When there was never meant to be religion in the first place, it was just meant to be Christ. Christ didn't come here to start religion, he came here to end it. To avoid where we are now, right? 2,000 years ago, we still haven't learnt. We've been doing the same fucking shit for 2,000 years because we keep getting railroaded into doing the same shit, thinking that's intelligent. Thinking that you can fight a system and an ideology. My religion's got a bigger dick than your religion. Pretty pathetic, isn't it? So, our opposer is here under false pretenses and false beliefs. They've been indoctrinated to hate us, and we're being indoctrinated to hate them, thinking that there's something that they're not. That's not Muslim, nor is it Islam. Okay? They're not, it's not a radicalised belief, they're radicalised people. Okay? It's not radicalised belief and faith, it's radicalised people. Who do you think ISIS are? We already know who ISIS are. Osama bin Laden was trained by the CIA. He was a CIA asset, and we already know that. The bin Ladens were high up princes of United Arab Emirates, of the UAE, from Saudi Arabia. They were high up princes from Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and CIA are like that. Same as Mossad, like that. What do you think? Okay. Again, the Dre dossier. Excuse me. She actually showed all the receipts in a deep dive that she done. When I say a deep dive, unearthing, not jumping down rabbit holes, but unearthing the actual receipts and showed them in one. I've got one on my thing. Just look up the Dre dossier on YouTube. The DREY dossier. DOSIER. Because it's not spelled how it sounds. Right. She unearthed the receipts. It's the same person, Larry Ellison, all the same contractors, and exactly the same prices for building a 9-level deep data centre, for data information, data farming centre, underneath the ballroom of the White House. Exactly the same as the one that's in Jerusalem, in Israel. Stargate is a means of transferring that data between the United States and Israel. Welcome to the planet of the United States of Israel. There you go. If a dumbass like me can figure this out just by studying history and looking for the receipts, instead of believing somebody else or coming up with my own dreamt up conclusions, surely you can work it out.